Everyone, it is indeed the Black Eagle, and we are back in the nest today. Hope everyone is having a productive weekend. Been seeing a lot of things go around people not understanding what Kamala Harris is talking about. So I figured I'd bring in some further analysis into her true goals and her true intentions. And I wanted to kind of bring things together, and I'm titling this video "Exposing Democrats' True Intentions" because I've received some disturbing news where BET and HBCUs are trying to galvanize young Black Americans into voting for the Democrats. So, this video in particular is going to be for the young Black Americans that you know what's going on, but you don't know what's going on. So, what do I mean when I say that? You know what older people are telling you, you know what is being pushed out via propaganda, but you're not putting the pieces together. So I'm going to use this because Kamala Harris just spoke at the Hispanic Leadership Conference. I'm going to use this particular video to kind of do some, let's put it this way, connecting of dots. Please feel free to leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more commentary. Um, please also let me know what other questions you guys may have, and also if there's something else that you would like for me to review. Um, Politics itself is not sexy. So I will not be we will not be watching this entire video, but we will be zoning in on certain clips. This is on CBS, so fair use. That's where this video is coming from. So you don't want anybody to think that I recorded this myself, but I am going to be doing a review on it, and I will be stopping it at certain points to add in my commentary. But thank you guys for taking so much time to join today, and without further ado, let's get into it.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. This week is a momentous week for CHCI as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, welcoming over 2,000 of you, Latinos from across the country, and recognizing our legacy and the impact and our growing influence across the nation. As we face crossroads in America, the Latino community plays a pivotal role in making sure that our nation moves forward. And at this crossroad,
Young Black Americans, pay attention to who's going to be playing a pivotal role in this nation moving forward. Please pay attention to that. I will be, like I said, I'll be stopping this at certain points. Pay attention to the candor and pride coming from the speakers at this event, okay? And I want you to see who's going to be pivotal in moving forward. And let me say this too, before I continue. I do not have an issue that Kamala Harris has got to go to other communities and give them their accolades and give them their props. But what I have an issue with is the same joyfulness, the same rhetoric is not given when she goes and talks to Black Americans. Everything has to be ambiguous when she goes and talks to us. Everything has to be, oh, well, let's see if we can go through Congress, or let's see if we can do this. All of a sudden, all types of bureaucratic processes and procedures have to come in place when she goes and talks to Black Americans. But we're going to pay attention to how she talks to the Hispanic community today, or Latino community.
it is crucial that our young people, yes, you, our young people, register to vote and make their voices heard at the polls every time, and continue to lead on the front lines. This is how we ensure that our seniors are protected. This is how we ensure that we have high quality health care, our families have access to economic opportunity, and our freedoms are protected and safeguarded. We all know that our families deserve affordable health care, quality education for our children, and more good paying jobs for our community.
So this is for Kamala Harris and Democrat Shields. Notice how their representatives are focused on good paying jobs for their community, not just unemployment rate for their community or employment rate for their community, but good paying job. I want you to see the differences in community, young Black Americans. Pay attention.
The person I'm about to introduce will be the leader who is focused on our future, a leader who delivers for us, a champion who ensures that every person, each and every one of you, is able to thrive. Together with President Biden, this person helped create 16 million jobs, including.
Now, there was a recent report that came out that said that the Biden-Harris administration did not actually create those jobs, quote unquote, that they say that they did. So that's, I'm not going to go over that. It's plenty of other content creators that have put that information out there. You can go look at it yourself on Google or on any other platform. So just know that, he's reading the speech that he wrote. So we'll go with it for now. But I did want to add that clarity and context in there. But pay attention.
5 million jobs for Latinos across the country.
Now, who has heard the millions of jobs created for Black Americans across the country from any of our Black representatives? Because I have not heard it. So if you have, you're more than welcome to kind of drop that link in the comments, and I'll be happy to go through it. And so what I've heard is, well, Black unemployment has decreased, and I heard that the wealth gap has been closed, even though we all know that that's not true. Because today, if you go look at the number one, you go look at who's at the bottom for median household income, you will see it's going to be Black or African American. So please pay attention to. He's giving her the accolades for making sure his Latinos have those millions of jobs. But pay attention.
Get this, she delivered, that's right, she delivered the lowest national unemployment rate in more than 50 years and the lowest Latino unemployment rate in record. This person has remained a relentless advocate for Latino community and has consistently worked to amplify our voices and build a more inclusive and prosperous.
He's 100% correct. She has indeed worked to amplify the voices of the Latino community. And we're going to explore that, and we're going to see that going forward here in just a few moments. But he's 100% accurate. So Black Americans, pay attention. Even their representatives are saying, yes, she's doing this for us. We know what our representatives in the Black community are saying, and we know what we feel separately on our end as being just citizens in the Black community. So pay attention.
Future for Latinos and all Americans. This person is a daughter of immigrants.
I had to put that there, folks. Remember, all of this, well, you guys need to protect Black women. You guys need to do this for Black women. You guys need to do that for Black women. She's a Black female. She's a Black woman. You hate your mama. Even the Latino community is telling her she's a daughter of immigrants. So, folks, why on earth, Black Americans, I'm talking to you now. Black Americans, why are you expecting a daughter of immigrants to act in your best interest as a Black American? Why else do you think she's trying to send reparations to Congress as another stalling tactic? Now, some glue sniffer is going to say, well, Congress is the power of the purse. Well, we know via this administration, they can do what they want to, how they want to, and when they want to, for who they want to. Isn't that right? So I wanted you guys to see, Black Americans, and particularly you young Black Americans, these are the questions that you need to be asking when you guys are on campus and you guys are getting ready to hit with, oh, well, y'all need to do this and y'all need to do that. And yes, I'm talking to you young Black Americans at HBCUs. Yes, I am an HBCU graduate, so I can talk about them because I was there and I know what happened when I was in school. So I'm telling you, these are the questions you need to be having. Understand this, your faculty, administration, and staff, some of them are going to be great for you to listen to. Others, maybe not so much. Your walk is going to be completely different. When you get out of school, you guys are not going to be able to get these quote unquote high paying jobs. Not because you're not qualified, but because you got to compete with everybody. Thanks to, like he just said, Kamala Harris amplifying their interest in the Latino community and not just the Black community. Let's continue.
Yes, this person is a former San Francisco district attorney. This person is the former attorney general of the state of California and a United States senator. This person is the first woman to serve as vice president of these United States.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
Look at this cheer and glee and joyfulness. Like it's Christmas Day, don't it? Look how happy she is.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Please have a seat. Please have a seat.
Yeah.
Please have a seat. Oh, it's good to see so many friends. I love you back. I want to recognize Chair Barragan. Where are you? My dear friend, fellow Californian, I want to thank you for all that you do and all that you have done. CHCI Chair Espaillat, thank you for all that you are. Both of them have spent time with me at my house, and we shared a lot of good stories together and many meals together. And I just want to personally thank them both because they really, as you know, are extraordinary.
Now you know where the comment of, well, I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No. Now you know where it's coming from. Pay attention, folks.
People and extraordinary leaders, and they do so much on behalf of so many. So thank you both for your leadership and for hosting me this afternoon. And to all the incredible leaders here, it is an honor to be with you again. And to everyone, happy Hispanic Heritage Month, which in my book is every month of the year.
So y'all heard that, right? Hispanic Heritage Month is every month of the year. Hold on, because I don't want anybody to say that I said that. Now let's come back just a smidgen. Listen, right here. Listen.
And to all the incredible leaders here, it is an honor to be with you again. And to everyone, happy Hispanic Heritage Month, which in my book is every month of the year.
Now, she said that, folks, not me. So, young Black Americans, when has she said that Black History Month was every month of the year? When has she said that Black history is American history? Understand that? I want y'all to see. Let me tell you something. They're banking on you guys not being able to see this. They're banking on you guys not being able to hear this. They know that because it's not sexy and because they don't think it's applicable to your community that you're not going to watch. And yes, I'm happy that she's giving them their kudos and their accolades, but you don't do this when you come and talk to Black Americans. I haven't heard her say that Black history was every month of the year. In fact, I've heard her reference our history in terms of 20 acres and a mule. There's a video out there about that also. I don't have it up here, but she said that before. She's always trying to kind of blow off our history. And when I say I'm talking about Black American history, as if though, hey, it's something we got to talk about, but we know what happened, but let's kind of move forward. But we'll continue to get into it.
So this is a room of longstanding friends, and many of you know my background. My mother arrived in the United States when she was 19 years old by herself.
Now, okay, this is my first time kind of hearing this. Now all of a sudden her mama is by herself, okay? Now, Black Americans, what we have been shouted down is, well, her dad is Black and Jamaican, even though that's been debunked too. So where is this affinity at for her Black side? You see what I'm saying? Where is this affinity at? She's telling you now where her allegiance lies to. It was her mother that poured into her. It was her mother that raised her based off of the way that she's talking.
And I spoke about it recently, actually. My mother, I was the eldest child. And as the eldest child, those of us who are, you see a lot of things in terms of what your parents go through. And I would often see how my mother was treated. She was a 5-foot-tall brown woman with an accent. And I would see how
brown is not Black, just so that you guys know. We know that some of us have brown skin, but she doesn't mean it in the terms of the way that you would think about being Black. So I wanted to point it out for you, some of you young Black Americans.
The world would sometimes treat her. But I'm going to tell you something, and this is where I come from. My mother never lost her cool. She never defined her sense of dignity based on how others treated her. She was a proud woman. She was a hardworking woman. She had 2 goals in her life: to raise her 2 daughters, my sister Maya and me, and to end breast cancer. She was a breast cancer researcher. And growing up Our mother taught us certain fundamental values, the importance of hard work, the power of community, and the responsibility that we have to not complain about anything, much less injustice, right? Because why are you complaining about it, she would say, do something about it. And that's how I was raised, do something about it.
Now, you know what? I got to agree with this point right here from Vice President Kamala Harris. She's right. And this is what kind of started, this is what started me, let me say it a different way. This is what helped me start a YouTube channel because she's right. We do need to do something about it. And for me, I am, as a Black American, I am so sick and tired of seeing older Black Americans tell the younger Black Americans what we should and should not care about. I'm so tired of seeing those that share our skin come to this country or adopt our culture and cosplay as us tell Black Americans, well, you need to do this and get in line to shut up and vote, and you're essentially going to vote for nothing. Folks, I'm showing you guys this today so that you can see as a Black American who you are going to vote for. And where she's putting her energy and resources and time is into the immigrant community, not you as the Black community. So pay attention. She's right. So this is me doing something about it, not just on YouTube, but I do this stuff in my community too. I'm very active at my HBCU that I will not name. I'm very active in the community with people that are in my life because too often do you folks not know what I keep hearing this whole thing where she's saying a lot of word salad. She's speaking in code, but she's saying a whole lot at the same time. So I'm helping you guys break it down. And also, if you don't like my analysis, hey, you're more welcome to go to another channel, go to another page, or offer me some criticism of my analysis. But I'm more than happy to go back and forth because I think it's essential to pull out what she means by what she's saying. And then we'll get into why I'm doing that also.
And those values have guided me my entire career. From, as you heard, being a young courtroom prosecutor in Oakland, California, we're Bay Area, 106.1. I learned that my best friend was being abused, making sure that we protect the most vulnerable. And so I started my career as a courtroom prosecutor and took on those who would be predators against the most vulnerable. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big banks and delivered $20 billion for homeowners who were middle-class families who faced foreclosure because of predatory lending practices. I stood up for veterans and students who are being scammed by the big for-profit colleges, knowing and many of whom had an immigrant background and were just—
Hear that? Hear where the focus is, Black Americans, especially you young Black Americans, immigrant background. Hear that? Pay attention. This is where her focus is.
Simply trying to do the best they could to invest in themselves and their family for their future. And the subject.
So what in the tarnation have Black Americans since 1865 who start off without anything been trying to do for their families? See what I'm talking about, folks? Pay attention.
Of awful scams. I have stood up in my career for workers who are being cheated out of the wages they were due.
Now, I'm glad she's talking about workers that were cheated out of the wages that they were due. VP Harris, the descendants of the enslaved in the United States have been cheated out of the wages that they were due from chattel slavery and the horrors that they incurred during that time period. So I'm glad that you feel this way. I hope that somebody else sees this and clips it up as well, because we're not going to let that go either, just so that you know.
And for seniors who have faced elder abuse. And I say all that to say, when I stand here before you today, this is not just something that I decided to do, but really is about a lifelong career that has been about fighting for the people.
The immigrant community is what she means to say. So she slowed down to kind of, she slowed down to pick her words carefully, but understand the audience that she's talking to.
For the people. And for years, I have been proud to fight alongside the members and the leaders of this incredible caucus.
And that incredible caucus is going to fight for the needs of illegal immigrants. Pay attention.
In almost all of that work. And the work we have done together has been about so much I just talked about. It has been about defending workers' rights. It has been about expanding healthcare for more Americans, including dreamers.
More Americans, including dreamers. Who are these dreamers, folks? Who is she talking about? I'm not going to answer that question. I want you to look up and see who these dreamers are. By the way, she says she wants to expand it, but affordable. Who knows what affordable means? Affordable to a billionaire or a millionaire is not the same thing as your poor class working citizen. It's not the same thing. So who determines what affordable is, folks? Affordable is an ambiguous term. $1,000 to a 100,000 is not the same thing as $1,000 to somebody that gets $400 or $500 a paycheck. It's not the same thing. Pay attention.
It has been about forgiving billions of dollars in student loan debt, including for many of the folks that we know.
So let's go over that. That student loan debt, folks, is still less than 1% of the total overall debt. Don't believe me? Go and look it up yourself. So it sounds good for a speech, but in practicality and reality, it's not the same thing.
Friends, relatives who, again, have been burdened by that heavy debt and just needed to be seen. Teachers, firefighters, nurses. The work we have done together has been to create the National Museum of the American Latino. And of course, last year I was proud to be with a lot of the leaders here in Houston for the CHC On the Road tour. So I say that to say that CHC, our work together, has always been guided by shared values and by a shared vision. However, at this moment.
See, I cannot stand. So Kamala, no disrespect, you need to let go of anybody that's on your campaign team. If they're telling you to do this, this is a bad move. And I'm gonna tell you why. Instead of you focusing on Donald Trump, why not just focus on the issues and your policies? Your policies, by the matter of fact, I'll get to that in a minute. Why not just do that? Why is it that you got to take half of your speech and focus on him? This is why your numbers are not doing so well right now, polling wise. And I'm not talking about what mainstream media is putting out. I'm talking about people that really study the polls. Not doing too good because you're spending too much time on him. People see this, Kamala. No disrespect. You still hadn't said anything of value in this 9 minutes and 11 seconds. Let's continue.
We are confronting two different, very, very different visions for our nation. One focused on the past. The other, ours, focused on the future. We fight for a future, for affordable health care.
Again, affordable health care, folks. Nobody can, she's yet to determine or define what affordable means. That's a setup. Young Black Americans, pay attention. Affordable is a setup. Even the people in your class, young Black Americans, what you might think is affordable and what somebody else has going on with their expenses is it could not be affordable. Affordable is an ambiguous term, and she's using that because she doesn't know what it means. She doesn't know what it means for it to be affordable. So pay attention.
Affordable childcare and paid leave. We fight for a future where we can build what I call an opportunity economy.
An opportunity for who, Kamala? Who's the opportunity for? Please educate us. Let's see if she answers that. And these are questions, young Black Americans, you guys should be asking.
Understanding that the people of our country, the people we know, have extraordinary ambition and aspirations and dreams of what they can be, what they can do, are prepared to do the hard work and put that hard work in, but don't necessarily always have access to the opportunities to achieve and realize those goals. So I see in America where everyone has an opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, to start a business.
So thank you for saying that, Kamala. So everyone has an opportunity to own a home. Why? So a lot of people say, well, Black Eagle, what's the problem with that? I'm going to tell you what the problem is. especially for you Black Americans. Let's delve a little bit deeper into who she's talking about. Um, I want to share this with you guys, okay? Because she's not doing this by herself. Let's go into share, and let's go into boom. Let's go into Kamala Harris share now. All right, you can see the screen. This is from Boundless. Okay, this was on August 16th, 2024. Not too long ago. Okay. Now, somebody's going to come back and say, oh, well, she's changed this and all this and that. It's still out there, and these are still her true intentions. So, the Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris laid out her economic plans Friday during a visit to Raleigh, North Carolina, including offering, now this is key language right here, up to. Why is up to key language? Up to is key language, folks, because it's not a guarantee. So it's going to vary. God knows what the variables are. But in offering up to $25,000 in down payment assistance for first generation home buyers. First generation, folks. So young Black Americans, you guys are not first generations. Plenty of Black Americans have had opportunities. Well, I'm not even going to say opportunities. They were able to own a home, but some were cheated out of homes. Some were pushed out of homes. A number of different factors. When during the Obama administration, Black Americans lost a lot of wealth. So that means that young Black Americans, some of you still will not qualify for this. Now, somebody will say, "Oh, well, that's not have anything to do with Kamala." Yes, it does. This is her mouth. Harris outlined her vision for, and didn't she just say this a few minutes ago? An opportunity economy where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed, and push for a strong middle class. As president, I'll be laser focused on creating opportunities for the middle class that advance their economic security, stability, dignity. Harris told the crowd together. We build, and I call what I call an opportunity economy. A 4-year program to tackle the country's housing crisis, making it easier for listen, now it goes from first generation to first time home buyers. So what they're trying is a play on words, young Black Americans. It's we might include you, but we might not, because you're not first generational, you're just first time. And if you're first time, you might not get close to 25 grand. You might get close to the 10 grand or 6 grand. It's a play on words, folks. Okay. As president, this is what's funny. As president, I will work in partnership with the industry to build the housing we need. You mean like BlackRock, the people that have made a donation to your campaign? I'm gonna be quiet. But both the rent and the buy, we will take down barriers and cut red tape, including at the state and local levels. So it sounds like she's going to be coming in swinging a bat. Harris said during the rally, by the end of my first time, we will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable. Now, nobody can define what affordable means for the middle class. First generation. So here we go right here. This is what I want you guys to pay. It's right here at the beginning is first generation, right? Then if we scroll down a little bit, where'd it go? I saw it first time. Here it is. First time. So we went from first generation to first time. Now we're back here to first generation. First generation home buyers, often from immigrant families, facing uphill battle in today's housing market. No disrespect, Madam VP. It's plenty of Black Americans right now that have uphill battles in today's housing markets. It's plenty of young Americans right now that have an uphill battle with housing markets. Without the benefit of inherited wealth or parental guidance, they typically struggle to afford a down payment. So I'm showing you guys this because this is where her focus is. So you don't have to believe me. Like I said, go to Boundless and look up Harris promises $25,000 down payment for first generation home buyers. So let's go back to our video.
I believe in a future. We together believe in a future where we can lower the cost of living for America's families so that people have an opportunity not just to get by.
Now I'm trying to figure out why is it that she can't do this right now with Joe? Why is it they can't lower costs right now with Joe? I don't understand it. Now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe that you can go once you get in, you'll do it when you're not doing it right now.
But to get ahead. And so with the work we have done together and going forward, we will continue to lower the cost of groceries, for example.
Continue to lower the cost of groceries. If anybody's gone to the grocery store within the last few months, you will see that those costs are not going down. They are indeed going up.
By taking on something that I think is very important to deal with, which is price gouging on behalf of big corporations. You know, I've seen that happen before.
It's important to note a lot of these corporations have donated to Kamala Harris. Go look in Open Secrets.
Many of you who have are coming from states where
She stuttered because she knows she's telling the tale.
we've seen extreme weather conditions in California, wildfires in other parts of the country, or even in the pandemic, where people are desperate because of these kinds of emergencies, desperate for support, and then some, corporation, and it's very few of them that do this, but then jack up prices to make it more difficult for desperate people to just get by. We need to take that on. We need to lower the cost of housing. We don't have enough housing in our country.
Again, this is something else that she's leaving out of her speeches. Over a third of the economy is laid off, folks. It's not necessarily a shortage. It's more so a shortage of people that can afford it. So affordable is where everybody should be jumping on her when. So if you go to a HBCU and she comes to your campus and she starts spouting this stuff out, and you guys have an opportunity to ask those questions, you need to ask her what affordable means. Don't just let that just hang out there.
The supply is too low and it's too expensive, both for renters and for folks who want to buy a home. So we will build together millions of new homes and give first-time home buyers $25,000 in down payment assistance.
And we just went through the article where she really means first generation. It's not going to be what you think, folks. And she's saying it this way, but it's written out as in terms of up to. It's not going to be, they're not going to give everybody $25,000 that's a first time person. I promise you that. It's gonna vary. And if you're a Black American, God knows what type of variable you're gonna have. Pay attention.
Because look, people just want to get their foot in the door. My mother worked hard. She saved.
Remember, her mother, who is an immigrant, who was an immigrant, so she's focused on immigrants, folks. She's doing really well, but she's also she doesn't think that Black America's gonna see this. Don't worry about it. I'm here to help y'all out.
It wasn't until I was a teenager that she was able to buy our first home. And the American dream is elusive for far too many people increasingly.
Those too many people she's talking about are illegal immigrants, and I'll go into that in just a moment. Matter of fact, actually, no, I'm gonna do that right now. Let's go into those people that she's talking about. And she's getting some help from this is who she's getting help from, folks, for those people she's talking about. All right, let's go over this. So Pelosi wants American dream for illegal immigrants, move them to documented with funding for homes. Now, this is from the Washington Examiner, folks. See it up here, Washington Examiner. So former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, matter of fact, is there a date on this? September 2nd. So not too long ago, September 2nd. All right. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat, California, said she would like to take. Now, somebody's going to say, well, what does Nancy Pelosi have to do with Kamala Harris? Well, you just heard her shouting out all the other people in the room that are from California. It's no different. They don't work in silos, folks. They're very They work together. And if you don't think that Nancy Pelosi is going to be calling the shots with Kamala Harris, you got to do some more digging and research. Said she would like to take her state's bill that would provide taxpayer-funded homes to illegal immigrants to the next level and make them documented. She means this for the United States, folks. So she did an interview with Bill Mayer Friday night. The former speaker was asked about her thoughts on California lawmakers passing Assembly Bill 1840, which would give illegal immigrants money to buy homes under the state's Housing Finance Agency's Home Purchase Assistance Program, California Dream for All. Now, yes, it's going to be for California, but they're going to try to implement this on the federal level. You just heard Kamala Harris say it. It hadn't been signed by Governor Newsom yet, but giving government assistance to undocumented immigrants to buy housing, Mayor said to Pelosi, that's kind of a different place than the Democratic Party used to be on immigration, is it not? And she said, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say that's what the country is going to do, but that's certainly where California is. Well, let me just say immigration has always been a bipartisan issue. I refer to you, Pelosi began to say, but not free houses. Mary interrupted. And here goes Nancy. Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people. Do y'all hear this? Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people. This is what I'm talking about, folks. Pelosi responded, but understanding that Pelosi responded, but understand this is about immigration. The best speech on immigration was by President Ronald Reagan. This is the last speech I will make as president of the United States. I want to communicate a message to the country I love. And he talked about the Statue of Liberty and the beacon of hope it is to the world, and what America was preeminent to the world. Was preeminent to the world because our door was always open. Yes, always open for everybody to come over here and get on the backs of black people. Pay attention. And we will cease to be preeminent when we shut the door. So again, what makes them preeminent is their ability to get free labor. So young black Americans, this is the reason why you can't get a job, because you guys are coming out of college and you just spend all this money, or you got the student loan debt, and your thought process is you're gonna come out and you're gonna make at least 80 to 100K. And that's not the case for most of you. Most of you coming out, you're getting paid 30 and 40 and 50K. This is real talk. So again, this is the plan, man. This is the plan. And so here go Pelosi. Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what that is, but making the American dream of ownership available to all people is something we have to do for people who are here now, Pelosi said. She's talking about those immigrants, folks. That's what she's talking about. So I shared that to share with you how they are connected. And you can't just go off of what's in a speech and what feels good and what sounds good. You got to go off of what's in black and white. Because if you go off of just what feels good, it'll get you every time. You got to go off what's in black and white. And the Democrats want to know why they're losing black support is because you guys are focused on illegal immigrants at the expense of black Americans. That's where the focus is. And we're not going to just let y'all Democrats and Democrat shields. We're not going to let you guys just weasel out of it, just so that you know. We're going to call it out at every turn and every time we see it. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's finish it out.
And that's why it is part of my perspective that let's just do the work of giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment.
She means first-generation home buyers, which are primarily illegal immigrants. We just read that with Pelosi. So what's going to happen is, if she gets in, her and Pelosi are going to rig something up where, hey, guess what? We're going to do this for illegal immigrants. You're not slick. I see you, Kamala.
Payment assistance. Let them get their foot in the door. We need to lower the cost of healthcare and continue to take on big pharma and cap the cost of prescription medications.
She can do this now. This isn't happening now, by the way.
Yes, for our seniors, which we have done together, but for all Americans. Because when we look at drugs like insulin, everyone here knows. First of all, Latinos are 70% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes. And with the support of CHC, we were able to cap, and it used to, she showed me many papers, and I said, tell me what these are. And she said, well, these are all of the leaders here, includes having a real impact on real people. And I have the blessing of being able to travel our country and see it every day. It's extraordinary work that is happening because of the leaders here. We, because of our work together, have finally given Medicare the power to negotiate lower drug prices with Big Pharma. And understand, if my opponent, Donald Trump, wins, his allies in Congress intend to end Medicare and end Medicare's negotiating power, as they remind us again this week. They are essentially saying, check this out, because you have to ask why, right?
So again, so for everybody that says, well, you guys can't do this or you can't put words in her mouth, she's putting words in their mouth. She's just saying what they are essentially saying. So that's what we're doing. We're letting you know essentially what she is saying based off of all the context clues and triggers.
Right? So why would you want to end Medicare's negotiating power against Big Pharma? And essentially, they're saying that it's not fair to Big Pharma. That's essentially what they're saying.
It's easy to say these things when those individuals are not there to defend themselves. When I don't know that that's for that to be true. When she herself has relationships with Big Pharma, Kamala, you ought to stop.
I'll tell you what's not fair. What's not fair is that our seniors for too long have had to cut pills.
So now that we're getting on what's fair, what's not just, Kamala, is that the descendants of the enslaved in this country have not gotten reparations. I'm glad that you like to focus on and you believe in fighting for what's fair, but no disrespect, no other group in this country endured chattel slavery, Kamala. So what you're not going to do is tell us that we need to be focused on educating every other group. No, we're not going to be focused on that. They want to learn about slavery. They can go to the library just like anybody else and get a book and see the implications. So I'm glad to hear young Black Americans pay attention to what she believes is fair and unfair. Let's go a little bit further.
Paying their rent. That's not fair. And that's why we will continue to do our work together, including Fight Project 2025. And
I'm gonna tell you the issue I got with this. CNN came out and fact checked this, said Trump had nothing to do with writing Project 2025. Y'all can fall for that crap if you want to. And if I was Trump, I would have something to say back to her about this. But this is the issue that I have. If Kamala Harris says she didn't have anything to do with something, everybody would take it at face value. Trump say he doesn't have anything to do with it, and now all of a sudden we want to kind of, we're gonna pin him with it anyway. This is weak and it's stupid.
Agenda that would cut Medicare and increase the cost of health care in our country. Because we stand with the people and on the side of the people.
And the people she's talking about are illegal immigrants.
We will also cut taxes for working families, including restoring and expanding the child tax credit. Because we know this is the kind of work that must happen if we are to be true to our values and be true to understanding that parents, in particular young parents, need that support. When we extended the child tax credit, cut child poverty by 50%, by half. Think about what that meant for so many families. The vast majority of parents have a desire to raise their children well. They love their children, but don't that they need to achieve their God-given potential. So I know where I come from. And we have to always put, and I know CHC agrees with this, and this is part of our collective life's work. We have to put the middle class first. We have to put working families first, understanding their dreams and their desires and their ambitions deserve to be invested in, and it will benefit everyone. And together, CHC, we must also reform our broken immigration system.
Now, this is good because, believe it or not, I have a lot of friends that are a part of the Latino community, and they actually had to immigrate here legally. They don't like illegal immigration. So I wanted you guys to focus in on I want you guys to hear the loud applause around illegal immigration. But let me say this about this particular comment that's about to come up. Kamala, you guys started this. You and Joe Biden decided to let over anybody, everybody, and their mama. Y'all started this. You can't say that something is broken when you yourselves help break it. Like, come on, man. Like, young Black Americans, wake up.
And protect our dreamers and understand.
I'm telling you, young Black Americans, look up and see who dreamers are.
We can do both. Create an earned pathway to citizenship and ensure our border is secure.
Right, at the expense of Black Americans, and not just Black Americans, but I'm focused on Black Americans, but at the expense of the American people. But if it's on the American people, it hurt just as bad. It hurts twice as bad, I should say, for Black Americans. So I wanted to point that out.
We can do both, and we must do both.
So, young Black Americans, understand her thoughts are around illegal immigration. That's where her focus is. This is what I mean when I'm trying to tell y'all. They're trying to replace the need for Black Americans.
And while we fight to move our nation forward to a brighter future, Donald Trump and his extremist allies will keep trying to pull us backward. We all remember what they did to tear families apart. And now they have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation.
Now, that's personal for her. And it's personal for her because she's thinking about her parents. No different than reparations being personal to me, thinking about my forebears. This is the issue I got with it. Kamala, okay, all right, young Black Americans, what country can you go to and get away with the things that illegal immigrants are getting away with here in the United States and getting the benefits and resources that illegal immigrants are getting here in the United States? I'm all for I'm all for legal immigration. It's illegal immigration that is killing us, in particular young Black Americans. These people come over here and will get up over you off of your back and then look at you like, why come you can't stand up? Gee, I don't know. Maybe it's because we didn't get the resources that you guys got off of our tax dollars, perhaps. But look at how she's trying to turn this and curve this in such a way. Pay attention.
In American history, imagine what that would look like and what that would be. How's that going to happen? Massive raids? Massive detention camps?
So, long story short, they know exactly where a bulk of those illegal immigrants are, folks. That's what she's saying right here. She's letting you know that she knows where they are. They know where they are.
What are they talking about?
They are talking about not letting the American citizen foot the bill for illegal immigrants. That's what they're talking about. Why is that such a hard thing, Kamala? Why is that so hard for you to get that concept around your head? You cannot tell American citizens that they have to give up their tax dollars to support other groups and other people when American citizens are not getting those taxes paid for by other groups either. Nobody's paying the tax for American citizens. Y'all asking people for money right now from the IRS. And you got nerve to sit here and say, well, what does that look like? That means, hey, guess what, folks? It's time for you to go back home. That's what it means. You know how many people have been hurt by illegal immigrants in this country? And you got nerve to sit there with this confused look on your face for emphasis. This is why, folks, you got to read in between the lines and you got to pay attention to Kamala Harris when she goes and speaks to other groups. Black Americans, she's not going to give you guys this way.
They will also give billions of dollars of tax cuts to billionaires and corporations.
She's going to do it too. You're supported by billionaires and corporations too, Kamala. Don't do that. That's so disingenuous. You're going to do the same thing too. What are you talking about? You're going to do the same thing too.
Massive tax cuts, pardon January 6th perpetrators.
Now, I'm gonna say this. There's a document going around right now, and I'm not gonna share it on the screen. However, this is what I will say. If you guys can find it, it's on cha.house.gov. And it pretty much talks about how um uh, Trump, he did want 10,000 National Guard troops to ensure the rally on January 6th was safe, but the generals at the time thought he was joking and blew it off. So Trump wasn't lying about that. So you can't just keep bringing this up, Kamala, and thinking that we're just going to fall for it. Pay attention.
Attacked our capital not far from here. They would cut Social Security and Medicare. They intend
Said that 3 or 4 times.
to end the Affordable Care Act and
which most Americans are not seeing a benefit from, Kamala. Sure, some people are, but most are not.
threaten the health care of more than 5 million Latinos in our country.
Notice how she got them statistics down for the Latinos in the country now. Shout out to y'all.
All based on, I'm sure many of you saw the debate.
She wanted that applause. She wanted that applause. Pay attention. And see, I saw the debate too from beginning to end. And guess what? No disrespect, man. I don't feel like you won. I'm gonna be honest with you. What I heard was a 3 versus 1 versus a 1 versus 1. So you didn't win anything, Kamala. You had help. And not only did you have help, you still were able to avoid questions and not answer them.
So on that point about the Affordable Care Act, all based on concepts of a plan.
And you laughing about concepts of a plan when you just released your doggone agenda on September 9th. That is funny. Let's laugh at that.
Concepts.
Yeah, concepts. She just released her agenda on September 9th and got the audacity to talk about somebody else that at least had his platform on his website since he's been running. Just like RFK, Cornel West, Dr. Jill Stein. All of them had platforms on their website except for Kamala Harris, which, by the way, folks, she also changed those plans on September 12th or the 13th, too. But she released them on the 9th on her website and then thought she was slick about it. So, Kamala, you can't laugh at somebody talking about they have concepts of a plan. And he was right, like he said in the debate. He's not in office right now, Kamala. You're in office right now in the straight hell. Next.
Concepts. Their Project 2025 agenda would pull our nation backward.
So I'm going to stop it right there, folks. But, you know, if you want to continue to see more of that, you guys can go over to CBS. And like I said, fair use. Young Black Americans, you guys have got to pay attention. They're going to be throwing everything, hurling everything at you towards your way. Pay attention to what's specific to your community because other communities are paying attention to things that are specific for them and their community. And young Black Americans, it's time for you to do the same. You guys are the reparations, believe it or not, is the new civil rights agenda, the new civil rights era stuff. Young Black Americans, you don't have one piece of legislation specific for you and for you alone and for your community. And anybody that says otherwise, ask them to pull it up and show it to you. Go through the language, go through the text of that language, see where it's sitting in process. If it's passed the House, has it been signed? Is it a law yet? Because you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do too, is have a show showing you the laws that the Democrat shills are saying are applicable and specific to Black Americans. So, folks, with that, thank you guys for joining us here in the Nest Day with Black Eagle Network. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.